Only few people can call me that, Martin, thanks. Oh dear.
What's he said?
I've been asked to start the stream early because to things, so we'll just talk generally if you want, and well, it's just obviously, yeah, just waiting for the go ahead, and then eventually the racing can get underway. In the meantime, I can tell you the format for tonight. It's reverse championship order, which will put the challenger drivers at the front, the elite drivers will be at the back in reverse championship order. So whoever is leading the challenger will be at the back of the challenger group, and whoever's leading in the championship of the elites will be at the front, at the back of the elites. Hopefully we won't be waiting much longer before we get ready to go racing. My connection does not like when I start streaming. Hopefully it holds on. But yeah. Yeah, I know what it means. To be honest, it fits well because I am a bit of a short arse, so it makes sense. That's I've just buried myself now. I'm going to be called that all the time now because I've just said I'm a short arse and my name's Carl. I've just buried myself 6 feet under without even trying. Well done me. Well done me. Oh dear. Oh dear. No, not really. Not really seen much of it, Martin, but I'll probably have a look at some point because it's all on YouTube. Although I'm a little bit disappointed with Ford, as I think everybody else else is. But I did see earlier today Red Bull's hypercar. That looks nice. That is genius of Adrian Newey. That the RB17 hypercar. Just waiting for a few other people to ready up, so it's there we go. Clock started, so now we're just waiting for the lobby to get going, and everyone can then start thinking about the strategy and also putting the setups on, because that is the most important thing. Setups are key, and then once everyone's on the formation lap, I'll run off some things about this wonderful circuit that circles the Albert Park lake. Don't text and drive, you. Well, here we are finally after that slight delay waiting to get going, but as you can see, we finally are looking on the pit lane of the famous Albert Park circuit in Melbourne, Australia. First raced at this circuit back on the 10th of March in 1996, which was won by British driver and world champion that year, Damon Hill. We are located 2 miles southeast of central Melbourne. Tonight's race is 100%, so the race distance will be 190.216 miles long, with a lap distance of 3.279 miles. Slightly shorter than the track we had before, because the changes were made back in 2021. So the original track length was 3.295 miles, and as I say, it's now 3.279 miles. So not that much difference in length, but due to the changes they made, significant changes in the lap times because they are much quicker. Because the current lap record around here, which was set this year in the current real life F1 World Championship, was a 19.8 set by Ferrari. So just waiting for the formation lap, people sorting setups out and strategy. Most successful driver here, Michael Schumacher with 4 wins, and obviously the most successful constructor, Ferrari with 14. A couple moments from races past and present from this circuit. First race here in 96 was, as I said, won by Damon Hill, but another British driver had an opposite end of the scale for his race here. Martin Brundle ended up crashing at turn 5, barrel rolling his Jordan Peugeot down the escape road. I can't remember what lap it was, but he had that big crash at turn 5. Another great one for British drivers in general was the 2009 opening round of the 2009 season, which Jenson Button led to his opening win of that season, and also Braun's debut win, and it was also Braun's debut 1-2 as well, with Barrichello following suit in second place. 2002 had 2 key moments that I can remember off the top of my head. Obviously the big crash between Barrichello and Ralf Schumacher going down to turn 1, which caused a domino effect, taking a few other cars out in the process, but also a beacon of light for the people of Australia when Mark Webber took his Minardi to 5th place in his debut race in Formula 1 at his home race, and even had a special appearance on the podium to celebrate that accomplishment. But on the other side of the spectrum, poor Daniel Ricciardo, debut race for Red Bull, was going swimmingly. Finished 2nd in his debut race for Red Bull on home soil. Sadly to be, I think it was, disqualified from the race, exempting him from the results and having that brilliant start to his Red Bull career, and also a dark cloud over Australia when one of their favourites had a podium finish stripped away. They're just waiting for everyone to finish their formation laps. You can see the grid order on the left hand side. Stube on pole, Bobo 2nd, Scottish Ninja 3rd, Baby Hornet 4th, Rematch 5th, Single Track 6th, Reese 7th, Smith 8th, Dondedge 9th. I'll finish it off as we go 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 And we're racing down under for MRCX. Plumes of smoke from behind. We jump to the front now. We can see everyone running down to turn 1 as Bobo takes the lead on the inside of Stube into turn 1. We have a yellow flag further back, and that is single track going slowly. We have a virtual safety car already, and we've only managed to go, I think, round turn 1, almost turn 2 before that came out. Obviously,
there was a big crash at the back of the grid.
Yeah, that probably explains why Martin dropped down and there was a few jostling paces, but Bobo getting the best start possible in Challenger leads the way with Stube and Scottish Ninja in 2nd and 3rd respectively. Baby Hornet currently leading the elite drivers in 4th. But there's one particular name further down the grid, maybe 2, 3, that I can definitely say are going to come through the grid as this race progresses, and I'm on about the 3 in 13th, 14th and 15th, which is Saviour, Ant and Eugenie. Expect those to come through the pack as this race goes on, as we go green to the roar of V6 hybrids going down the start-finish straight to start lap 2, as we're going to keep an eye on the battle at the front at the moment, because it looks like Scottish Ninja is lining up a move on the inside of Stu, but sensibly backs out of it, as we have Baby Hornet and Reese just behind those. This is the battle for first in Elite between Baby Hornet and Reese. But the Womax in P6, 1.9 separating these 5 and him, and then we've got a few cars in a train behind Womax, Lorpy, Don, Dej, Peninza, and then it's 2 seconds back to Mark Hodgson's train, which involves G-Star's gone up as, I think, yeah, Smith's gone round at the high speed chicane, so luckily it's 100% to be able to get himself back up and running again, as we've seen a big change at the leaders. Now Baby Hornet leads overall as he's gone from P4 to P1. Bobo and Stu dropping down, but Bobo still leads Elite. In the meantime, Reese makes a move on Stu just into turn 1, making a move as, and on his usual soft tyre start sets the fastest lap, as now Bobo has gone very deep. He's gone deep at turn 3 and he's in the gravel. He's waiting sensibly to allow everyone through, but that puts Baby Hornet back in the lead overall. Now Reese gonna look to home back in on Baby Hornet after getting through the Challenger drivers, but that error by Bobo has now put Stube in the lead of the Challenger class, with Scottish Ninja just under half a second behind. So Scottish Ninja, Challenger tier class leader, keeping tabs on Stube, and obviously Reese has just made an audacious move around the outside of Baby Hornet to take the lead of the Elite class and overall. So have a drop down, as I think that's Peninza making a move on, or Saviour trying to make a move on Peninza, as Saviour's gone to the inside and makes but Peninza stayed there. He's defended it well, held the inside, but Saviour will have a look again down towards turn 3. Goes a bit deep, there's a bit of banging which has caused Peninza to go off, and Saviour's gone off as well. But just popped up earlier. Scottish Ninja 3 seconds for track limits. Coming under pressure from elite tiers. Lorpy, as Lorpy's made the move for P4 overall and is currently third in elite in his orange Dutch inspired car. I will not say anything else after that. This is Formula 1, not football after all. As now it looks like Scottish Ninja seems to have Dondedge slowly crawling up to his diffuser, which I'm not going to be biased, but because he's my teammate this season, come on Dondedge, all the best to you. Jump back to the front as Reese makes a move, both of them locking up. Baby Hornet going slightly off track because both of them went deep into turn 1, and now Ninja and Lorpy there as well. So that's dropped Baby Hornet down to P3, Lorpy P2 now. Hopefully that'll give Reese a bit of breathing space now that Baby Hornet and Lorpy will be scrapping away at the front. He's got 8 tenths to Lorpy, but Lorpy will have DRS, as will Baby Hornet. As Baby Hornet looking on the outside of Lorpy, bit of wheel banging, both of them trying to squeeze through. Oh, bit of an ask. Bit too much bitten off there, but both of them tried to make it work. It almost did. Stube tries to go around the outside, but Hornet holds the inside line. Defends P3. But that's allowed Ninja to close back up on Stube. Big lock up into the penultimate corner. As Ujoni up into P8 already is now looking to challenge Mark. Sensibly stays out of it as Ujoni sets the fastest lap on his medium tyres. Gone for a different livery this time, silver and like a turquoise. So repping the Mercedes colours. Ujoni, are you feeling alright today? He's in a Mercedes, not a Ferrari.
I don't know what Peninsula was doing there.
Why, what's gone off further down there, and just for perspective?
In the middle of it doesn't matter.
Okay,
I'm just going to speak French for a quarter of a second here, I'm sorry. Salut Mika, je voulais juste te dire que là je suis en commentaire, enfin j'ai Beat qui est en commentaire, donc je vais pas pouvoir parler. C'est tout, désolé. That's it.
And getting a bit bilingual tonight with his fluent French. As Reese has always had a big lock up into the penultimate corner, but he has got a nice cushion of just over 2 seconds as Lorpy, I think Baby Hornet's made a mistake because he's dropped down from second down to P5, which is promoted Dondedge. Mark's also gone past as well, so Baby Hornet having a poor final corner. He's dropped from second to 6th. As Bobo 3 seconds. Track limits must be at turn 1. Really bunched up here behind Lorpy. The train goes from Lorpy all the way down to Womax in 11th, so second down to 11, all in this ish. In this one camera shot as we're following Mark, who's roughly in the middle of this train as he's looking to take Dondedge, which he does. Better straight line speed in that setup for Mark than Dondedge. For the elite class, and he's now going to look to overtake Stube to then have a look at possibly getting second in elite by attacking Lorpy. We'll go back to the middle part of this train as it looks like Saviour is as Martin single track 3 seconds, having not his best race so far. 24 seconds off Bobo and plucking along. But as long as you finish MRCX and you're in the top 10, you will get points as Bobo's pitting. And he's fell foul of the 10-second speeding penalty. That's going to hurt his race. As we're still following Saviour, as it looks like Eugeni's just gone past Dondedge. So that's Eugeni up to P5. His next target will be the captain, Mark Hodgson. As it looks like Stube looking to go around the outside of Lorpe into the high-speed chicane, backs out, plays sensible. He is leading the Challenger category, so he doesn't want to really...
Baby Hornet's gone off.
Thanks for that, Ant. So Baby Hornet having a disappointing race.
As well.
Oh, it's all happening further back, but Eugeni has just moved ahead of Mark Hodgson. So that's Eugeni now into third, as Reese Winkham 5.8 seconds, 5.9 seconds up the road from Lorpe. Reese has absolutely upped and left, which he's doing what he needs to do. Still long ways to go. Lap 9 of 58, as Lorpe is defending hard from the cars behind. The gap now 6 seconds to Reese Winkham out in front, but now he's got Eugeni to try and fend off. Eugeni looking to do something that no other driver has done in MRC, because we've got multiple championships you can race in this season. He's tier 1, he's also taking part in Extreme and also taking part in X, as well as he moves up into second place overall and second place for Elite. But he is one of the drivers this season who's going to be aiming for possibly the very first Triple Crown, as it's all kicking off behind him now, as he's now stretching his legs. Stu being the cork in the bottle at this moment in time, but Stu just doing what he needs to do, keeping his head on straight, staying focused, not letting the elite drivers phase him, as he's just gone a bit deep out of turn 1 and got track limits. But hopefully that doesn't... Oh, he goes deep trying to defend from Mark, which has cost him a few places, but he still will be leading the Challenger tier, which is now released. Ninja's down in P8.
Ninja, is he running the Iron Brew livery?
We'll have a quick look. It does look that way. Scottish Ninja running a Scottish inspired car with his Iron Brew colours.
Make them proud.
As Dondedge has just gone up to P5, he's jumped Lorpe through the high-speed chicane. Go on, lad. I shouldn't be showing any bias, but he is my teammate this season, and I want to see him doing well. So the fact that he's P5 overall and elite is brilliant to see.
Je peux pas trop parler.
As we'll jump to this tasty little battle that's just looking to heat up, as Saviour moves to the inside of Mark. Mark doesn't think about defending it, as Saviour moves up into P3 and now looks to make a charge, as track limits galore seems to be down at turn 1, seems to be a struggle for most drivers, going in a bit too deep out of turn 1. As Saviour now will look to chase Eugeni down. He's got a 2.4 second gap, whereas Eugeni is slowly eking down that gap to Reese. It's 5.9.
Mais j'écoute tes résultats.
Mark now looking to... Oh, it's Bobo, 3 seconds again. He's really falling foul of the track limits. As Lorpe's just got past Dondedge. So Dondedge drops back to P6.
Félicitations,
But there's a
Super.
big gaggle of cars. As, I think that's Bobo round at turn 2. He's dropped to the back.
Oh, no.
Martin on a steady comeback up to P14. As we got this gaggle of cars of Dondedge, Stu, G-Star, Wumax and Scottish Ninja all within shot coming through turn 2. As Peninza has fallen foul at track limits. Track limits coming in thick and fast around about turn 1. Driver's going a bit too hot into turn 1. That's going to be one of the corners that everyone's going to have to keep an eye on. G-Star stuck in a DRS train, looking to go around the outside of Stube, and he does, and looking to take Dondedge as well, and he does. G-Star goes round the outside of both Stube and Dondedge as we have a retirement. Baby Hornet has gone, and the safety car has made its first appearance here on lap 12 of 58, which is not what Reese wants, because he had a very, very nice comfortable cushion. As Joni decides to pit, Saviour decides to pit, Mark is in as well. But this is going to hurt Reese. He had a nice comfortable lead in these early stages, and that has now gone, as it looks like everybody else is pitted and Reese has caught the back of the Aston Martin safety car. So now, with everybody looks like making the decision to pit under this safety car, as I can see a part French, part English, part Portuguese person in P2 now,
Part
keeping
English,
himself
part
quiet.
Portuguese. Stop it there.
Come on, you're part French as well.
I've got a British flag. I've got a Portuguese flag as a
Yes, I can see your
as a
Portuguese
crest.
symbol.
But nothing
see-
French. I actually have like more of a German helmet.
Yeah, to be honest, sometimes I don't know what nationality you are. I mean, we all know what nationality you're going to be on Sunday, that's for sure. But that's as far as I'm going with that topic. That topic.
I'd still be for England if it were Portugal playing in the final. A happy man at the exit of the game. That's it. Whatever the outcome.
Yeah, well,
it's
at
Spain,
least
so no.
this safety car has caused a reset. Reese obviously missing the pit entry before the incident happened, and ended up catching us. Oh, you decided to pit now then, Ant. I'm guessing you didn't pit the lap before, so you've gone a lap later, as so has Bobo behind as well. Bobo having a nightmare of a race. This is going to be a very, very, very interesting restart with the likes of Reese, Eugeni and Saviour in those top 3 places.
3 top dogs
now,
there.
Yeah. But as we're under safety car, and you've got time to talk, Ant, because there's not any racing going off at the moment beyond the safety car. Now that we've finally got the competitive side of MRC going, how are you finding the racing now that we've competitively up and running?
What do you mean by that? What do you mean by racing? The game itself or everybody?
The racing in general, so everybody.
I don't find any issues. It was very, how would I say that? Demolition Derby in the pre-season. That's how I
Yeah,
felt like
questionable.
what it was like.
Pre-season was a bit of questionable standards, but
And that's
obviously,
not
nah, it's not a dig at
that's not
anyone, is
saying
it?
anything bad
Nah,
about anybody.
no,
It's just we were all.
yeah,
I was probably the one making the most mistakes.
yeah.
So
Well, at that,
no,
yeah. Well, at that time, we're all learning. We still technically are.
yeah, still are, yeah.
Some of us have had the game since release. Some of us have only had the game recently because this is only Martin's third race on
Yeah,
this game.
he ran X and
Yeah, made
what was
his
it?
F124
Tier 2 this week.
debut in X last week in Saudi, last Friday, and also made his Tier 2 return in Saudi as well. With a fantastic third place in Tier 2, I must say, but the happy part of Tier 2, I'd say, is seeing a particular captain back on the top step as Mark won in Saudi, returning to the infamous top step where he's been many times before.
Yeah,
I haven't seen the finish to that race, but I have heard that it was quite the drag race to the line.
Yeah, it looked like it was. It was like 0.1 of a second in between them at the finish. I think when I was doing the results. So I mean, it usually is around Jeddah, especially on this game because you have such a powerful DRS train that everybody finishes together, especially on Jeddah, and it will probably be the same on this track.
Yeah, and also on a bright note for another driver, another former race winner. In Tier 1, Saviour returned to the top step of MRC in Tier 1.
Yeah, he had a great race. And he's
yeah,
taken to this game really well.
Bert Mylander has just flicked that switch, the lights are off, and now all the focus will head to Reese Winkham as he gets ready to set us all off for the restart to get us racing underway, going on to lap 16. Still a little bit of ways to go before we reach half distance, which will be around about lap 29.
Yep.
But we'll see where Reese decides to go. He's waiting, still waiting, and he's put his foot down out the final corner. Eugeni slightly behind, not being able to make any challenge whatsoever for the lead. Will drop down to further places as Peninza has made a move into turn 1 on Scottish Ninja, and I think that was a move for you as well, Ant, just behind.
Only defending it.
Okay. There's Bobo speeding in the pit lane again. That's another 10 seconds. And that's Bobo's night done. He's decided to call it a night in the pit lane.
That's a shame.
So that is 2 cars down though, both from Elite and 1 from Challenger.
Now Scottish points.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, Challenger's only got 3 races this tonight, as one of them has just made a move on an Elite driver, so Scottish Ninja up into P10 past Peninza, who now has Stoob just ahead of him. Ooh, Peninza having a look on the outside as Ninja tried to make a few attacking shapes to Stoob just to let him know that he is there. But these two will be battling for the win in Challenger. As we jump to the front, as Eugeni is now finding himself in the lead of the race overall and in Elite, so Eugeni back where he knows so well at the front, with Saviour around about a second behind, but hope he's trying to stay in that 1 second for DRS. But did he get it? We'll see. Did he get the DRS? No, he was just outside at the detection point, although he is closing on Eugeni even without DRS, so obviously decided to use a bit of battery, but goes wide out the high-speed chicane and gets track limits. What damage will that have to Saviour's race towards the end of the run-in? As now we see Mark Hodgson has made him up to P3, as now Lorpe has also made a position getting past Reese. Reese struggling on those tyres, everyone on fresher tyres, where Reese was the only car not to pit under the safety car. He decided to stay out, so those tyres not as fresh as everyone else's, so he'll be looking to come back in the later stages, as it looks like Peninza's lost a handful of places, and Ninja single track, as he's just clipped the back of single track going through turn 4 or 5, and he's missing an end plate, so that's going to be a trip to the pits for Peninza.
He hit the wall, I think, because he spun out of turn 2.
He's also lost an end plate when he hit the back of Martin, which,
okay.
Yeah. As we'll jump towards the front, as Lorpe closes in on Mr. Mark Hodgson. We're going to see if Lorpe will shape a move down towards turn 1, because he was within a second at the detection point. He has DRS, and he will also have DRS out of turn 2 as well, because here, as Mark has fallen foul of track limits. Turn 1 and 2 claims another victim with track limits, as Peninza has as well. Turn 1 and 2 really being a problem for most drivers for track limits, really asking questions of our drivers tonight.
It's much worse than what I was expecting.
Yeah, I mean, from what I've seen, most of the track limits are coming between turn 1 and 2. As Lorpe closing in on Mark with DRS, he will also have DRS again down to turn 11. DRS open on that orange car. Plays safe and doesn't make the move. He'll be looking down towards turn 1 again. As we've got a move made by Scottish Ninja. I've just seen that on the left hand side. Ninja up into P10 and the lead of Challenger. He has finally made it past Stube. So Scottish Ninja now leads the Challenger class. Stube has dropped down to second in the Challenger category. So Scottish Ninja, as long as he finishes ahead of Stube, Stube gets a bit of a twitch out of turn 4, and now he's coming under a bit of pressure from single track, as now Ninja is looking to his Peninza gets another track limit, and now Scottish Ninja on the back of Dondedge, who's got DRS off of Ant as well. As we can see, Martin now splits the two Challenger drivers, which is going to cause a bit of a headache for Stu as he slowly sees Scottish Ninja pulling away from him. Ninja looking to challenge elite category driver Dondej, as he will have DRS on Dondej towards turn 1. He's got a lovely toe, but Dondej also with DRS, which is going to help him defend that position. Both drivers making it clean through turns 1 and 2. The DRS definitely helping Dondej defend P9 from Scottish Ninja, as we'll jump back to the front drivers as Mark and Lorpe still battling away, this time with Lorpe ahead of Mark. So Mark now looking to be the attacker and Lorpe is now the defender, as Mark looks to go around the outside of Lorpe, sensibly backs out, waits for another attempt, but this is also allowing G-Star and Wumax and Reese just in the back of shot to slowly crawl up on these two. As I've seen a few times commentating, whether it's Tier 1 or the few occasions that I've been doing X, Lorpe is a very, very strong defender. He's a very difficult driver to get past, so Mark will be looking to use his know-how and knowledge to get past the Dutchman. As he's having a little look on the outside in towards turn 3, not quite there to make the move. And it looks like Wumax having a bit of a scrap just in the back of shot with Reese, as Wumax has just foul of 3 of track limits. That's at turn 6 and 7. As Lorpe, I think, yep, Mark goes through on Lorpe, and we'll still have DRS down towards turn 11. So now G-Star will be looking to take the fight to Lorpe, and Mark will be looking. Oh, there's a bit of contact with Wumax. Must have been slightly late on the brakes. It doesn't seem to be any damage on that car of Wumax, but there was a bit of debris from that collision, but no damage by the looks of it, as Saviour sets the fastest lap as he looks to chase down Ujoni for the race lead.
Good luck with that.
Not something many drivers have been able to do. As Peninza, another penalty for Peninza for track limits. Very track limit penalty heavy this one so far, and we're not even halfway yet. So all the drivers that are racing tonight are going to be taking this on board into their respective races, whether it's Monday or Wednesday. Tiers 2 and 1 on the Monday, Tier 3 on the Wednesday, plus Extreme. Tier 3 and Extreme making a return because we postponed their second round races due to a football match between the English and the Dutch.
Yeah, it was to watch the Netherlands lose.
Mind you, they did get first blood. The Dutch got first blood.
We got twice as much. No, it was a good game. It was a good game.
Yeah.
And I've got a very, very soft spot for the Netherlands in football. They're always the team I cheer on. So I would have been cheering for them in the final, that's for sure.
Well, at the moment you're keeping Reese Winkham close for company.
Yeah, but he's got very, very warm tyres. Ooh.
Yeah. He's been on them tyres since the start because, unlike yourself and many of the other drivers, he did not pit under that safety car that was brought out when Baby Hornet crashed out. I'm guessing that's your second set of soft tyres then.
Yep, it is.
How did the last set feel after you came off them?
Well, they felt okay for 8 laps, but I got damage from someone. So they started feeling bad from that point on. Locking up everywhere, so it's hard to say, but they felt better than what I was expecting.
Yeah, obviously
Right
the
now they're still feeling good.
Yeah, I mean the only thing that's saving Reese from an attack from you is Woomax, because he's got DRS off of Woomax just in front. As he tried to have a look into turn 1 but backed out. He'll have...
Yeah, Woomax slowed down quite a bit there at the end of the straight. I don't know if it was just the closing speed or if it actually
probably closing speed, but another lockup by Woomax into turn 3 as we have a yellow flag.
If you want a bit of info, have a quick look at the sky.
I can't... Ooh! It's looking a bit cloudy. Sun's out, but it is going a bit cloudy.
Yeah.
And as we know, we've had
15 minutes.
Oh, thanks for that information. Lorpy falls foul of track limits, which is gonna hurt him towards the end for sure. He's another one with track limits. The only drivers that haven't got penalties up in till this point now is Eugenie, who leads Reese in 2nd, yourself in 8th, and Smith in 13th. You're the only 4 drivers without penalties, as Saviour sets an even quicker fastest lap as he's really closed into Eugenie now. The gap is only just over half a second, about 6/10, so we now have a scrap for the lead. Getting a bit tongue-tied against 2 of our most successful drivers in MRC. Obviously Eugenie, multiple Tier 1 champion, and Saviour in his own right, multiple Tier 1 and MRCX champion, which you, as of this season, and is the defending champion for the elite tier. So
yeah, only 5 championships to match.
Oh, Scottish Ninja's gone.
Oh.
Scottish Ninja's gone, and that looks to be turn 7. He's gone at George Russell corner. If anyone's seen the Australian Grand Prix this year, obviously George Russell having a massive one, but that's going to hurt Ninja because he was leading the Challenger class. So we've got 2 drivers fallen to the wayside in Challenger, which leaves Challenger with only 1.
Not many.
Morgan Stube in P10 is the last man standing in Challenger, and all he's got to do is hold on for the rest of this race, and he will be coming out with the Challenger class win and will close in on Scottish Ninja in the championship, because Ninja and Bobo, all they had to do was finish and they'd get points, but they've not finished, so they're not going to get points. And at this moment,
logic there.
Which means at this moment in time, Stu will be looking at 25 points for Challenger, which will close in on Scottish Ninja in that championship, because we'll have a quick rundown of the 2 championships for the X.
If he finishes
classes.
First, he'll end up within 8 points of
yes, because Scottish Ninja leads the Challenger class. As I said earlier on, he has 33 points, 26 points ahead of Bobo, with a 33-point gap over Stube and Geke. Stube here is looking to get 25 as long as he finishes, as it's getting even darker now. Sun has gone.
Overcast.
The clouds have gathered. So Stu looking to shrink the gap that Scottish Ninja has in the Challenger class. Saviour leads that on 36 points, only 3 points ahead of Ujoni on 33. Ziad, who is not racing tonight, is in third with 30 points, another 3 points behind Ujoni, but 6 points behind Saviour. Elite class defending champion Ant is fourth on 23 points, 13 points behind championship leader Saviour. Krustia T, who's not racing, is in fifth in the championship on 18. Kaiser Soze is P6 on 15. Myself P7 on 13. G-Star in 8th with 12. Airways on 12 as well, so those two locked in a dead heat for 8th and 7th. And rounding off the top 10 in the championship is Lorpy with exactly 10 points. So 10th place has 10 points.
Are you leading the way for tier 2 drivers?
No, that accolade goes to Krustia T in 5th.
Okay. Oh yeah, he has been having good races, yeah.
Yes. As it looks like the safety car is coming in, so Ujoni has backed off to get ready for the restart. It's gone very hazy now around the Albert Park circuit, so every driver will be keeping an eye on those clouds and the weather, because it can all change on its head when the weather comes. As Ujoni getting heat in those hard tyres for this restart. Will he go the same point as Reese? No, he's gone earlier. He's gone before the final corner. And he's opened a brief gap to Saviour. So Ujoni with a textbook ooh! Gets a twitch out of turn 1 in the meantime, but gets the ideal restart. As we'll drop down as we see, we'll jump to Yuan, who's roughly middle of the gaggle of cars, as we're trying to find people that could be shaping up and movers. Stube coming under pressure from Mark behind on soft tyres. Mark has changed to the soft tyres, so he's going to be rapid at this point. And Reese Wincomb's there as well, as Mark goes to the inside of Stube. Sorry, the outside of Stube. Reese tried to go on the inside, but then had to sensibly slot back in. So Mark gets ahead of Stube, and Reese is going to look to do the same. Both drivers on the soft tyres, so those two going to be looking to get the hammer down at this point in the race, as we are halfway through now on 29. We are just about to start lap 30 of 58. DRS is back activated again. DRS now enabled again. As we see Martin, who's quietly made his way back up the grid. The safety car has helped, both safety cars have helped him. Everyone needs a bit of luck here and there. Running his Braun inspired livery again. And he's looking to challenge Lorpy for P4 on track and in Elite. As Stube has 3 seconds. All he's got to do is finish, and he'll be coming home with the big prize of 25 points. As that's Martin up into P4 now ahead of Lorpy, but Lorpy will not have DRS, but he's got some good straight. Oh, that is Reese going for looked like a send and a half on Mark into turn
Yeah,
11.
Mark had to really move out of the way for that one. That was...
Yeah. Made it stick. Luckily, Mark was aware of Reese coming. But that's Mark down to P8 and Reese up to P7. As we see a battle further back as Smith and Dondage side by side going down towards turn 1. Dondage on the inside. Peninza track limits again. As Dondage makes the move past. As we see Reese has now gone ahead of Ant. Reese utilising those soft tyres at this stage in the race as he looks to fight back, as he's now looking to challenge Lorpy for 5th place. Had a little look to the inside, had a little look to the outside. Lorpy staying within DRS of single track, which is allowing him. Reese going for another look into... late on the brakes into turn 11 again goes Reese. I think there was slight contact on the way through with Lorpy, but that is Reese up into P5 and is now all over single track's diffuser. This is for P4. As he sets the fastest lap of the race as well, a 19.3. We're slightly off of Leclerc's lap record in real life, which was a 19.8. As he goes down the inside of turn 3, doesn't quite make the move done. Reese looking very, very racy on these soft tyres at this moment in time. We've been that busy watching Reese's progress, slicing through the pack, that Saviour leads from Ujoni, and now Ujoni using DRS goes around the outside of Saviour to retake the lead of this race. G-Star still keeping in touch with that, and single track, as you can see, just on the back of that train, as well as Mark has made headway on Lorpy. Mark up to P7. Let's see if Saviour can probably have a look. As we have rain, we've just seen the jitter of rain. It is now raining. Now then, this is where the race gets interesting, as Lorpy has boxed.
Oh, it feels very slippery.
It does look like it's getting slippery, to be fair, from the camera shots as well. Reese P4 on those soft tyres, I think at this point in time will be in a comfortable position, like Mark as well on the soft tyres. Getting a bit slidey through the high speed chicane is Reese. The soft tyre, not a bad tyre to be on at this point, because the heat that they have compared to other tyres. But it does look very, very slippery and greasy at this point. So we're watching Reese and he's sliding through every corner, as it looks like Reese has dived in. Reese has made the early call. Reese has jumped, Martin's jumped, yourself and has jumped as well. So 3 drivers taking the call to go now for the intermediates, whereas Saviour has just taken Ujoni for the lead. Womack's 3 seconds. G-Star is going to be the lead into runner of you guys that have just pitted. So we'll be watching to see how it affects compared to these that are carried on. You can see the droplets on the track. It is really I would say it's about intermediates time. You can see the rain tapping the tarmac of the track. Eugenie going round the outside of Saviour again into the high-speed chicane. These three will be looking to change for the intermediates to cover off the likes of G-Star, Single Track and Ant that have just gone on, as Eugenie struggles to get the power down out of turn 11. And again, trying to keep that back, and again the back end wants to go. Yep, Eugenie's gone in, but Saviour has stayed out. Reese has gone in, but
okay.
Saviour has continued. Saviour going for the Lando Norris tactic, as DRS has now been disabled, so we are now in wet conditions here on lap 35 of 58. Saviour trying the Lando Norris tactic, going one lap longer. Could it be one step too far? As G-Star just behind Reese as he's come out, so Eugenie and Reese hold position ahead of the likes of G-Star and Single Track. Gaps slowly opening out with these wet conditions, so we've got a few gaps forming as people start to find where the grip is and get to grips with these wet conditions and find their rhythm. Reese, the only one apart from Smith further back who's within a second of another car, but if you want to overtake, you've got to do it the old way with no assistance. Wet conditions take us back to the old school of racing with no DRS, although you do have battery to assist you, so you may not have DRS, but you do have the overtake button or hot lap. As Saviour has pitted, he is going to come out way down the order, going one lap longer than everybody else, as he comes out in clean air in P6, but he will have Mark Hodgson slowly crawling in, but everybody is outside of a second of everybody. So although follow, it's how are the conditions at the moment, Tan? Because I'm just watching you. How's it feeling?
It's getting wetter. We're getting more and more droplets, more and more spray.
Yeah.
It's starting a bit more as well. So yeah, it's still getting wetter. I don't know how long it's going to be though. I'm not expecting it to be a very long shower.
The engineer's not said how long this rain's in for.
I'll ask. Right. Oh. It's going to be with us for a while now, so a bit longer than I thought.
But you and Single Track have really closed in on G-Star. G-Star not looking happy in these conditions.
Not many are.
No. The wet conditions is pretty much the ultimate neutralizer, because those that are happy and quick in the dry may be unhappy and unsteady in the wet conditions, and those that are more cautious and controlled, as Mark has gone out of turn 2. Mark Hodgson crashes out on lap 37 out of turn 2. So now we have another reset, but this time it's a wet reset. The track definitely looking wet now. as we'll jump to you, Joni, who will be the de facto will be the leader behind the safety car. Still a ways to go in this race. 37 laps in, soon to be 38 once you, Joni, gets round and crosses the line. With these wet conditions, it is a definite advantage for the likes of you, Joni Reese, and everybody else racing tonight, because it allows them the chance to understand how the rain and the wet track behaves around here with these cars, so they can, as it looks like Ant's decided to box under the safety car to take fresh inters, which isn't a bad call. Everybody else deciding to stay out by the looks of it. No, Lorpy's decided to take the idea as well, so Lorpy in as well for the fresh set of intermediate tyres.
Yeah, it only cost me 2 positions, so it was worth it.
Yeah, Lorpy only losing a few as well, will be at the back of the queue. Stube still leading the Challenger class down in P9, keeping his head on steady. And obviously you, Joni, leading overall as well as in Elite.
He's used to it.
Yeah. I'm still not used to you, Joni, not racing in red, because like I say, he's gone for a silver, and he's practically running a Mercedes, which
is he celebrating Hamilton's win?
he could be, because to be honest, that win on Sunday for Hamilton at Silverstone,
special.
It was special, and a very popular one amongst a lot of the fan base, especially the British fan base.
Oh yeah.
Because it's not only Hamilton returning to the top step, but it was also a British driver winning on home soil in front of a capacity fan base around Silverstone. In tricky conditions as well. It was started dry, then we had a rain spell which made the track greasy. Yeah,
everything that makes a race good.
And every year Silverstone always seems to deliver phenomenal races, and it always, I will say, the weather does play its part when it comes to Silverstone as well, because it won't be the British Grand Prix without a sprinkling of rain.
Wouldn't be Britain.
True. I mean, Hamilton did win his first race at Silverstone in 2008 in wet conditions.
Yeah. Did he lap the whole field?
I think he did lap the whole field that race. I know, and it was a one driver race. That was. He's shown why he would become a multiple time world champion and the only driver to win over a century of race wins. So, lap 39 of 58 under safety car with the rain falling. As Bert Mylander switches the lights off again, as Joni will now take control of the grid, as I think that's a car getting a bit out of shape towards the back. Obviously no overtaking behind the safety car, so cars have had to back off to let them retake position. Where will Joni go for this restart? Different conditions, different tyre.
Dangerous restart.
as it's all very bunched up as Journey's taking his time on this restart as he's coming around the final corner, and he'll put his foot down as safely as he could without spinning the rears up. Reese stayed with him. Reese with some brilliant straight line speed going down the straight, slowly crawling in on Journey. Must have a sleeker setup than what Journey's running. Journey probably running a higher setup than what G-Star's running. Sorry, Reese is running. Because Reese is all over Journey since this restart. But Journey does seem to be a bit more happier in the corners. But Reese definitely does have the upper hand on the straights. As it looks like Stu, something's gone with Stu. He's tumbled down to 12th. Although he will be in clean air. All he's got to do is finish, as we're going to focus on this as Reese really on the attack on Journey. G-Star gets 3 seconds. Reese definitely has the upper hand on the straights. Journey definitely has the upper hand in the corners. But both drivers keeping the car under control in these conditions. These two have left G-Star behind as we see Journey getting good exits out of corners because of the, looks like the higher downforce helping him in these conditions as well through the corners. But Reese is able to close that gap on the straights. Almost as Peninza with another 3 seconds as Journey almost goes over track limits, keeping it on though. Reese really pushing Journey at this point. They are streaking away from the cars behind, but it does look like, despite Reese being able to close in on the straights, as he bounces over the curb trying to keep the car stable through the high speed chicane, Reese putting Journey under some immense pressure at the moment. Journey's not going to have it easy by the looks of it this week, especially with Reese hounding him at this point in time. Yeah, Journey good in the corners, Reese phenomenal on the straights. Journey a bit of a twitch through too. We'll jump away from that battle for the time being as get some airtime for other drivers as Saviour having a good scrap with G-Star. Nice and tidy through there. See what Saviour can do. Makes the move on G-Star, he does. Saviour definitely looking comfortable in these conditions compared to G-Star. As now Martin slowly but surely creeping up onto the back of G-Star as G-Star is dropping off from Saviour. Now that Saviour's gotten past, Journey has a 1.1 second lead out front, so now Journey has found his rhythm and is now opening the gap to Reese. And very close to single track this going down towards turn 3, which is allowing G-Star to open up a gap as Lorpy has gone at turn 2. Well, between turns 1 and 2, we've got another retirement and yet another safety car on lap 43 of 58. We're getting ever closer to the finish of this race. But the drivers are falling by the wayside. We started with 16, we are now down to 11. How is it driving in the wet behind another car rank? So obviously you got the dirty air from the car in front. How does the car feel?
To me it feels okay, but I don't know much different, you know, because I've always been behind a car in this race, so I can't really compare it to
just asking. I'm just asking in general if.
Yeah, but usually I like having someone ahead of me in the wet.
Yeah,
that gives you a bit of guidance.
Yeah, it's a bit like me. I'm stronger as a follower than a leader. I'd rather have a car ahead of me than not. Armand wants to have a look at penalties. Yes, we can, and we're going to have quite a few penalties to read out at this point. As there you have it, we will run through them in the order that they are running in. So Saviour with 3 seconds in third. G-Star in P4 is on 6 seconds. As Peninza's got another one to add to his tally. Single Track in 5th is on 3. And as you can see, Peninza in 7th on 21 seconds. Really struggling to keep it within track limits. Then you got Stube in P9 on 6 seconds. Dondedge in 10th on 3 seconds. And then Wumax, the last of the runners, in 11th on 6 seconds. Peninza struggling with those track limits. 21 seconds he's on. Obviously, we are learning. My dog's going nuts outside because of a alarm going off. But nobody wants to know what my dog's doing. Nah, nobody wants to know what my dog's doing. They want to know what's happening in the race. But there's not a lot going off in the race at the moment as we are under safety car. I haven't counted how many we've had, but I know we've had a handful. Yeah, so question is, do we have one more or this is the last one, as we're about to go on to lap 45 of 58. We have gone past Lewis Hamilton distance, we've gone past 44 laps.
On to Mario Balotelli.
Yeah, Mario Balotelli, 45 on his shirt. And the reason why he had 45 is because 4 plus 5 equals 9.
Is 9.
Yeah, pretty much. That's the
Quick
reason.
Yeah, and he
couldn't work out to put a training bib on though, could he? Balotelli, bless him. Couldn't figure out how to put a training bib on. Rain seems to be still steady at this point. Doesn't seem to be letting off anytime soon. There is a line there for drivers to follow. So to be honest, if you think about it, when it's a wet race, technically you do have racing line. Without you realising.
Technically, yeah.
Technically you do have a racing line.
Racing in the wet is an assist.
But it's not at the same time, because you go off that line, you'll be doing a Perez. as the safety car lights are off again, and Joni will take yet another restart after
He must be
Reed.
tired of these.
He's probably used to them by now, to be fair. Especially after he just opened a strong gap over Reese, he's got to do it all over again. As we're about to go green flag racing onto lap 46. Again, Eugeni waiting for his moment. Reese almost going into the back of Eugeni. Eugeni gets the power down out the final corner, but it's Reese that's got a car on him, as Saviour has got a better run out the final corner on Reese, but Reese yet again with the straight line speed closes in on Eugeni. But now it looks like Saviour's in the mix for this one. Saviour looking on the...
Oh.
As we see Peninza going for a move further back, which... bold if you ask me.
Yeah, well, I'm not fighting that, that's for sure.
Oh, as he clips the wall through, just a minor tap. No damage. As we look back the front three, Eugeni, Reese and Saviour. Saviour sadly carrying 3 seconds worth of penalties, so he is not in a favourable position at this point. Even if he gets past Reese and Eugeni, he still has to gap them by 3 seconds. But it's getting past them first. I'm guessing that's another pass by Peninza, by the sounds of it. Or...
It was
although Peninza's, yeah,
not me, but
as he's just lost 2 places to you and single track. Single track, I will give him his credit. He is very, very, very calm and collective in wet conditions. Very level-headed when it comes to the wet. Is our lead creator. Jump back to the top 3. As it looks like Saviour is hounding the diffuser of Reese more than Reese is hounding the diffuser of Eugeni. But yeah, the difference in setup is definitely helping Eugeni over Reese, because he's really able to do something through the corners, as Eugeni has opened up a second gap now. He's got that 1 second lead, but Reese again closing the gap on the straights, and Saviour getting a lovely toe from Reese as well, which is dragging Saviour towards Eugeni as well. But the difference in setup is allowing Eugeni to get the corner in and exit better than what Reese can do. It's, oh, Saviour's back end has a bit of a kick, reeled it back in. I think Reese as well at this point is now looking behind instead of in front, because Eugeni 1.3 up the road, Saviour right over the diffuser of Reese. This is for second and third. Saviour with the disadvantage of a 3 seconds. But judging by the way the cars are, Saviour's car set up lovely in the corners. Getting the toe from Saviour as well, getting the toe from Reese as well. As we're on 48 of 58, so we've got about 10 laps to go here at Albert Park. As it looks like Reese opened a bit of a gap to Saviour, but Saviour getting that distant toe, allowing him to crawl back in, as Stube has made a position for P8, as Smith's actually dropped places, as we're watching the battle for second and third. which is allowing you, Joni, to scamper away. He's got just over a 2-second lead now, has the Italian. Saviour all over the back of Reese. As we'll jump on board with Saviour as he's getting that toe from Reese. Moves to the inside onto the wet part of the track. Oh, just enough space for the two of them to go through. Saviour slots back in behind. Plays the safe as it looks like Reese went a little bit deep into turn 3. We'll stay on board with Saviour to see and watch how the back end of Reese behaves and see if Saviour can make a move, as both cars getting a bit skittish, which has allowed Reese to open up a bit of a gap. So both cars getting a bit out of shape. Yeah. I will give you that one, Mark. It is very, for some reason, as Saviour, that's 6 seconds now as he gets another 3, so he now has to, I think G-Star's also at least on roughly the same amount, so he's got to look to get his head down as we have a car round with yellow flags. That'll be Smith down in P11. So we'll drop down to P5 and 6. Ant and single track. And also G-Star P4, because these two have reeled G-Star back in. Everyone playing the sensible game by the looks of it, with only a handful of laps to go, as it looks like Ant is looking to attack Martin. Had a look at the outside.
Smooth.
Getting really close to the back of single track. But again, as you can see from the gap, Saviour has clawed Reese back in, but sadly has 6 seconds to his name, whereas Reese at the moment is still penalty free as Joni starts lap 51 of 58. We are getting ever closer to the end of this race. The rain has slowed down a bit since earlier on. Droplets eased off a little bit, but the track doesn't seem to be drying up as much. And staying within 9/10 as we have a yellow flag, as Stube has made a mistake down towards turn 1 and 2. He's got going again. He just has to keep going, does Stube, to get the 25 points for Challenger. The only one left standing at this moment in time.
Yeah, he's doing great.
Yeah, at this moment in time, Joni looks to be taking yet another win in X at this moment in time, with a 4.8 second lead over Reese, who is too busy defending from Saviour. As we're still watching the battle for 4th, 5th and 6th, G-Star, single track and Ant. If these weren't battling so hard, and with the penalties that Saviour and Reese, well, Saviour is definitely got 6 seconds, so sadly it's holding you two up from game, well, you especially, Ant, who's on no penalties from possibly getting that third place because you are on no penalties, whereas as we had a brief change there. We'll just jump up to the front as, yeah, Reese and Saviour going side by side through corners in the wet conditions. Saviour's gone into race mode. He's seen those penalties and he's really attacking Reese at this point. As he's looking around the outside of Reese, having to get on the wet, as there's a bit of contact between the two. As again, Saviour has a look, tries the outside, but Reese keeps hold of it. Saviour attacking strong, Reese defending strong. But in these conditions, even the slightest of chaps can spell disaster. Mark rooting for Stube down in P10, but first in Challenger. As Saviour gets a better exit than Reese, they are side by side going down towards turn 3. Saviour on the outside. Reese defending the inside, Saviour trying to hang it round the outside, which then becomes the inside for turn 4. But Reese has the inside for 5. Oh, a bit of a twitch for Reese. Keeps the car held. Superb scrapping by these two out in second and third. But it's helping you, Joni. It's helping you, Joni, put his hands firmly on that trophy for first. Oh, back end wanted to come out for Reese out the high speed chicane. As we on the run down to turn 11. Saviour had a bit of a look, but Reese shut the door. Saviour's back end wanted to come out again, but he held it. And the track does look to be drying out at this point now. 54 now as Journey's just crossed the line and lapped Smith, who's just come out the pits. Maybe thinking about the gamble as Saviour's pitted. Saviour's going softs. Other drivers looking to pit as well, because G-Star's coming as well for the soft tyres. Now then, gamesmanship again, as Ant is now ahead of single track. So Ant now firmly in third place. Oh, as we just... Oh, Martin's dropped it. He was following Ant, and the back end came away from him.
It's a real shame for him. He was having an amazing race there.
Yeah, especially after being...
He was having a really good race.
Yeah. I mean, he was last by a handful of seconds in the early stages, and obviously crawled it back. And Martin...
I can only put that down to not having enough time on the game, because he's only been playing for a week, but
yeah,
his pace was amazing.
For saying he's only been playing the game for a week, he's really grabbed the game by the scruff of the neck, as Saviour's got another 3 seconds. That's 9 seconds for Saviour now, as Joni now pits. Everyone will be in for the dry tyres.
Come on, Smith.
As we go on to lap 55 of 58.
He's a lap down, he's holding the leader up.
Just something for you, Ant. Martin enjoyed that fight with you.
It was long, yeah. It was good fun.
Well, depending on how the season goes, you may have more of them, because you never know, Martin. Depending on how this season goes, obviously with how the promotions and that goes, You never know, you might see Martin in Tier 1 at some point, so you'll be having plenty more scraps with him down the line, possibly.
Probably even in X, mate, because...
yeah, Extreme,
if that's his pace
yeah.
after 1 week... No, I'm talking about X, but Extreme as well, but...
Yeah.
If that's his pace after one race, well, I mean 1 week, there's a lot more to come.
He's really, really, really found his sweet spot with the game. And the way his pace has been showing, and the way Mark can
Mark as well,
find his pace as well with this game. I can't see anyone stopping Williams from taking the Tier 2 constructors.
Yeah, it's definitely a very strong pairing there.
It's too strong a pairing, if you ask me. That's just my personal opinion.
Well, maybe Red Bull. Jinxie is looking quick. Duncan, if he gets
well,
his
yeah. There's
connection sorted, could get a few.
There's a few good pairings down in that Tier 2 tier. To be fair, it's quite nice seeing a Williams at the front of the grid, to be fair, I must say. I can't argue with that.
In the years to come, maybe in the years to come in real life. You never know.
Yeah. Now here's a question for you two, Mark and Martin. Who's Albon and who's Sargent? Who's who in that team? Because I'd really like to know.
The war has been declared.
Well, to be honest, if you go off the standings from last season, it depends on who crashes the most. Fair play, Mark. But if we go off the standings from last season, because Martin, I think, finished third, that makes him Albon, and that makes Hodge Sargent.
Sarge or Latifi, it's your choice.
Both as bad as each other, to be fair. I swear that particular day Latifi turned into a Red Bull driver, I swear.
They got Red Bull cans out of it.
Well, yeah.
What was it, a year's supply? Apparently. I hope it's true.
Martin says I'm Antonelli, so Logan isn't back after the summer break. Yeah,
very good.
Logan isn't back after the summer break. Martin Hills has called it. He's Antonelli. He's off to Mercedes for season 15. I'm calling it. As we're about to start the penultimate lap of the race, as we'll go on to lap 57 of 58, so it's going to turn into a 2-lap sprint once Eugenie gets this restart underway, as his foot's to the floor out of turn 14 to get this restart underway. We go on to lap 57, which means the last lap we will have DRS, but only on the last lap will we have DRS. And to be looking to keep Saviour within touching distance. But he's got...
Still need to learn the colour of a blue flag.
I'm guessing stuck behind back markers. But you have, I think it's 9 seconds you got to stay within Saviour, so you got quite a big buffer to stay in. And
yeah, but I want to stay with them right now, you know, like not get
I know.
No, it doesn't matter.
I know the racer. I know the racer you are. You want to be there with them, not behind, having to do it by gap. You want to do it on track.
I don't mind doing it by gap, but if I can be up there, you know.
Peninsula again, track limits again. So that is, I'd say 20.
Was that 21 or
24 or something like that, yeah. as Ujoni is about to start the final lap. We are about to start lap 58 of 58. DRS is enabled. Won't have it for here or down to turn 3, but you will have it on the run down to turns 9 and then down to turn 10.
Tires are still cold.
Ujoni almost breaking the 1 second from Reese. Saviour keeping Reese company, as Reese and Saviour will have DRS from here down towards turn 9. Flap opens on Reese, but because it's only here and down towards turn 11 and he's too far back to do anything, soon as Ujoni's gone round turn 11, he's pretty much got it. Yeah, comes out of turn 11, now through turn 12, now unlucky 13, and now room 14, and Ujoni comes out of 14 and takes the win down under in Australia. Reese gets second, Saviour will get third on track, but then Ant will take it after penalties. Dondedge with a phenomenal P5 after penalties. Chuffed for you, my friend. You are really holding your own out there. Bring that on Monday for Tier 2, please, as Ant has been given driver of the day by the game.
Yeah, I don't know how they've figured that one out.
Yeah, I don't know how the game does it.
Or penultimate?
I don't know.
Maybe it's position changes in the game. I don't know.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, we're going to
but yeah, like, and also just another thing, Martin says in the chat. Please like and follow. Please subscribe to MRC to keep up to date with our week-to-week races. You get 5 to watch over a week. We have X, Tier 2, Tier 1, Tier 3, and the newly made Extreme. So you have 5 races a week to get your
and we usually have a proper
appetite.
comms team because we usually have a proper comms team. This was a bit special because special circumstances, let's put it that way.
Yeah, we had...
So I had to help out, but we usually have much better comms than what it was today.
Yeah. Due to circumstances, you had to jump in and do double duty, race and drive. I mean, to be honest, you as driver comms has done well yourself. As we'll go through the order very briefly before we go off. Ujoni takes the win. Reese gets second. Ant will be third. Saviour with the fastest lap in fourth. Dondedge P5. G-Star sixth. Womack seventh. Stoob finishes and gets 25 points for Challenger, so he closes in on Scottish Ninja. Peninza finishes P9, Smith P10, and then classified but DNFs. You got single track, 5 laps down, classified, possibly.
I think he'll be classified, yeah.
Lorpy, first classified DNF though, Lorpy P12, Mark 13th, Scottish Ninja 14th, Bobo 15th, and Baby Hornet 16th. That is your finishing order for MRCX. But it's provisional regarding stewards, if any hands go up, and then stewards will get involved. And obviously, then it will go to appeals, if anyone wants to appeal that. And then that's just left to one person to sort the standings out, isn't it, Ant, once all that process is all done and dusted?
Yep.
But yes, that is MRCX done and dusted for Australia. We'll be back racing again on Monday at 7 o'clock for Tier 2. And then at 8:45, it'll be the big boys of Tier 1 going racing Australia. And then on Wednesday, the Tier 3 boys are back racing after a week off due to a football match. They'll be going at 7 o'clock Wednesday night. And then it's our no assist extravaganza as MRC Extreme gets underway yet again at 8:45. Fantastic racing in X tonight. Dry, wet, back to dry again. Really testing the drivers. Thank you, Ant, for doing double duty, both racing and comms. Thank you very much for that.
Well, I want to thank you because you've been doing it all alone tonight. It's not an easy job to do. You did it last week as well. So, honestly, thank you for doing it.
At least I got somebody in my ear tonight, unlike last time when I was literally stone dead on my own for that one.
I'm not sure a stressed out driver makes it any easier for you, so honestly, credit to you.
To be fair, you kept yourself quiet, and there was a few murmurs here and there that I heard in my ear from certain moments in the race, because I know what you're like in general, especially in that party of ours. Thank you for everybody watching MRCX tonight. Back on Monday, like I said, at 7 o'clock for Tier 2, and then Tier 1 at 8:45. Thank you from me, and thank you from Ant. Good night.